Right. And the festival is supposed to host 3,000 people.
Per weekend for 2 weekends.
So 6,000.
6,000 total, yeah.
So 6,000.
6,000 total, yeah.
Total.
Yeah, correct.
And once again, on a piece of land with no electricity, no running water.
Really smart, right?
on an island with a few thousand people. Okay, so now you're trying to figure out the logistics of how to do this. Now, I guess you paid all the residents money so you could use all their homes, essentially?
Yeah, we assembled a street team who took linens, a camera, and a bag of cash and went and knocked on doors and sent people on vacation for 2 weeks.
Right.
That was literally our genius plan. Let's go send people on vacation and change the bed sheets and take pictures and call it a day. So we did that. We installed, I think, 800 tents. We had a large number of boats that people either brought themselves or that were being chartered, through us to different yacht brokers. So it was kind of like an all hands on deck. How can we make this work? And obviously the simple answer is we should have pushed it back, right? And had I pushed it back 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, it probably would have worked. I think the reason why, and I didn't admit this to myself at the time, was I didn't push it back because I knew I was lying to the investors. And I felt like I had this one chance to make it right. And if I had 12 more months, I couldn't keep the lie up to them. So I was like, we can make this work, and we're going to have to make this work in 2 months or 6 weeks, whatever the time frame was.
Okay. And how much money did you have at this point from investors?
I think Fyre total probably raised 30 to 40 million. I think 28 of it was over the course of 4 months. So it was really fast. And that does not count whatever ticket revenue we had, whatever sponsorship revenue we had, right? That was just the investor side of it. So it was definitely a pretty insane cycle of, cash in, cash out, to try to make this dream a reality in such a short period of time.
Okay, and 30 artists were supposed to perform.
Correct.
Blink-182 was the headliner.
They were one of the headliners, yes.
One of the headliners. And what, Good Music was the other headliner?
It was, the headliners were Blink-182, Good Music, which consisted of, I think their label's bigger, but 5 or 6 artists we had, agreed to from Good Music.
It wasn't Kanye, though.
Was not Kanye. We had hoped he was going to come,
Just to show up.
Who knows?
So like Pusha T, Tiana Taylor.
Designer, Tyga.
Tyga was on Good Music?
Yeah, he was on Good Music.
Was he? Okay.
I forget the rest of the lineup from Good Music. It was 5 or 6 of them. Major Lazer, it was the DJ group, and then Disclosure. Yeah. So there's the 4 headliners.
Diplo's group. Well, but you also had Ray Shremmerd.
Yep.
I just interviewed Slim Jimmy recently.
Nice.
Migos.
Yep.
Lil Yachty.
Yep.
Skepta from the UK. And were all these people paid in full?
So there were 30 artists. 28 of them were paid in full.
No, let me stop you there. As someone who does bookings, and so forth, I never want to pay people in full ahead of time. I paid DMX in full, then he died. So
Understood.
You never know what's going to happen when you pay people in full. And of course, his estate owes all these other promoters money, so I'll never see it. Why not pay people half and then half on the day of the show and so forth?
I think everybody knew I was a 24-year-old kid with supposedly had an island in the Bahamas. So I think, I was certainly getting taken advantage of in some respects too, right? It's I was easy, quick money for a lot of talent at that point.
Okay, you're almost like a lick, kind of,
for sure.
for some of these guys.
So just to answer your question, of the 30 artists, 28 were paid for both weekends up front. The other 2 were paid for the first weekend and not the second weekend.
But everyone was essentially paid in full.
Everybody was paid in full for the first weekend, and 28 to 30 were paid for the second weekend. Yeah.
When I hear it out,
I think we paid $5.3 million to the artist total.
$5.3 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They actually got paid, and that's I think highly underreported, right? That wasn't the scam. The scam was lying to the investors.
Yeah. And they all got to keep their money, right? The artists?
Some of them were sued eventually. I don't think anybody gave back more than 10 or 15% total. I think that's being aggressive, but most of them kept all of it.
Okay.